Hello, everyone. This is Andrea from Andy's Corner. I'm so glad that you joined me today. So let's jump right in. The last few episodes, we read about, oh, yes, Jacob stealing the blessing from Esau. Now, last time Esau accused Jacob of stealing his birthright when in fact he gave it to him for a bowl of soup. But Jacob did indeed steal his blessing, which was right before his father died, right? So we left with the blessing of Abraham onto Esau because he said, Father, please, you have to have a blessing for me. And he blessed him. And then that's where we leave off. So, chapter 27, verse 41. From that time on, Esau hated Jacob because their father had given Jacob the blessing. And Esau began to scheme, I will soon be mourning my father's death. Then I will kill my brother Jacob. But Rebekah heard about Esau's plans, so she sent for Jacob and told him, Listen, Esau is consoling himself by plotting to kill you. So listen carefully, my son. Be ready and flee to my brother Laban in Haran. Stay there with him until your brother cools off. When he calms down and forgets what you have done to him, I will send for you to come back. Why should I lose both of you in one day? Then Rebekah said to Isaac, I'm sick and tired of these local Hittite women. I would rather die than see Jacob marry one of them. So, Rebekah has her whole scheme of how she sends Jacob away. She sends him away to save his life, but she tells Isaac it's because she does not want him to marry a Hittite woman. Now, maybe it's both of them, but she's kind of a little manipulative. So Isaac called for Jacob, blessed him, and said, You must not marry any of these Canaanite women. Instead, go at once to Paddan-Aram, to the house of your grandfather Bethuel, and marry one of your uncle Laban's daughters. May God Almighty bless you and give you many children, and may your descendants multiply and become many nations. May God pass on to you and your descendants the blessings he promised to Abraham. May you own this land where you are now living as a foreigner, for God gave this land to Abraham. So Isaac sent Jacob away, and he went to Paddan-Aram to stay with his uncle Laban, his mother's brother, the son of Bethuel the Aramean. Esau knew that his father Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him to Paddan-Aram to find a wife, and that he had warned Jacob, You must not marry a Canaanite woman. So he also knew that Jacob had obeyed his parents and gone to Paddan-Aram. It was now very clear to Esau that his father did not like the local Canaanite women. So Esau visited his uncle Ishmael's family and married one of Ishmael's daughters. Remember Ishmael, Isaac's brother? In addition to the wives he already had, which was two, now he has three, his new wife's name was Mahalath. She was the sister of Nebaioth, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son. So, okay, Jacob flees, and he's fleeing for his life as well as he's trying to find a new bride. Anything stick out to you in this episode about God or about man or about yourself? Anything? Something that stuck out to me was Rebekah's workings. She told Jacob one thing and she told Isaac another. And again, I guess he achieved both, but she's just not completely transparent with her husband, Isaac, which is not that good. I did like how, the blessings of Isaac continued to bless Jacob, and he kind of passed on the promises of Abraham. And it's like he kind of knew, or at this point he's like, okay, I know that God's going to pass on that blessing to Jacob and not Esau. Maybe he was finally accepting that. And so he, on of his own accord, decided now to bless Jacob with the blessing of verbally saying, like, God has given this land to Abraham, and now you will live here as well. So that's a pretty big deal, because to this point, remember, Esau was his favorite, even though God had already told Rebekah that the older will serve the younger. So there's a lot of interesting things going on. And remember, Esau had already married the 2 Hittite women and made his father and mother's life miserable. That's what it said in the Bible. So he now finally realizes how important it is to them that he marries somebody within their same belief system. And so then he decided, okay, well, family, okay, Ishmael's part of our family. I'll marry one of his daughters. So, I mean, obviously God does not want multiple wives. And you'll see actually Jacob ends up with multiple wives, which is not God's best. But God uses all of this to his glory. So something that stuck out to me is that even though we are in the middle of all things, we get into things, God's plan ultimately happens. Whether or not it was to save Jacob's life, or it was to find him a wife. Maybe God allowed it to happen to do both. So I don't know. It just shows God's sovereignty. And I appreciate that, because when I truly believe that God is sovereign, that means no matter how many times I mess up or how hard I try, if I just let go and trust the Lord and pray, Lord, your will be done, then I have to trust and believe that it will happen. And God's will be done if I'm obedient and I let go of control. All right, so that's today's episode, and stay tuned for next episode as Jacob is on the run. What's going to happen? All right,